The story of Adam and Eve is one of the most well-known stories in the world. It is a story about the first humans, their creation by God, and their fall from grace. The story is found in the Bible, in the book of Genesis. It is a story that has been told and retold for centuries. The story of Adam and Eve is important because it teaches us about the nature of God, the nature of humanity, and the relationship between the two. It is a story that is full of symbolism and meaning. The story also teaches us about the consequences of sin and the importance of obedience to God. Most of all, the story of Adam and Eve is a story about hope. Even though they sinned, God still loved them and provided a way for them to be reconciled to Him. The Garden of Eden was a beautiful and perfect place. God created the garden for Adam and Eve. It was a place of peace and harmony. There was no death or suffering in the garden. Adam and Eve were free to eat from any tree in the garden except for one. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil was forbidden to Adam and Eve. God told them that if they ate from this tree, they would die. This tree represented a choice, to obey God or to choose their own path. Adam and Eve lived in innocence and bliss in the garden. They had everything they needed and wanted. They were content to live in obedience to God. This perfect existence, however, was not meant to last. The serpent, a cunning creature, entered the garden with temptation. The serpent was a cunning creature, and he was jealous of Adam and Eve. He wanted them to disobey God. The serpent tempted Eve with the fruit of the forbidden tree. He told her that if she ate from the tree, she would be like God. Eve was tempted by the serpent's words. She wanted to be wise. She ate from the tree and gave some to Adam. As soon as they ate from the tree, their eyes were opened. They realized that they were naked. They felt ashamed for the first time. The serpent's deception led to the first sin committed by humans. Their disobedience had dire consequences. The harmonious balance of the garden was broken. This act of defiance had a profound impact on humanity. The consequences of their actions continue to shape our world today. God was angry with Adam and Eve for disobeying Him. He punished them by banishing them from the Garden of Eden. God cursed Eve with pain in childbirth. He cursed Adam with hard labor. God also cursed the serpent. The fall from grace represents a pivotal moment in human history. It marks the loss of innocence and the beginning of human fallibility. The once perfect relationship between God and humanity was broken. The story of Adam and Eve's expulsion from paradise serves as a cautionary tale. It highlights the consequences of disobedience and the importance of staying true to divine guidance. The story also introduces the concept of sin and its impact on humanity. Sin is not merely a transgression against God, it is a separation from His grace and love. Section 5. Symbolism of the garden, nature and innocence. The Garden of Eden is often seen as a symbol of paradise. It is a place of beauty, peace and harmony. The garden represents a time when humanity was innocent and close to God. The garden's abundance and perfection symbolize the state of humanity before sin entered the world. It represents the ideal relationship between humans and nature, where everything exists in harmony. However, the garden is also a place of temptation. The presence of the forbidden tree suggests that even in paradise there are limits to human knowledge and freedom. The Garden of Eden remains a powerful symbol in art, literature, and religious thought. It represents a longing for a lost paradise, a time when humanity lived in harmony with God and nature. Section 6. The serpent's symbolism, temptation and knowledge. The serpent is often seen as a symbol of temptation and evil. He tempts Eve with the forbidden fruit, leading to the fall. The serpent's cunning and deception represent the dangers of succumbing to temptation. However, the serpent is also associated with knowledge and wisdom. By tempting Eve to eat from the tree of knowledge, the serpent introduces the concept of good and evil into the world. The serpent's dual nature reflects the complex relationship between knowledge and temptation. While knowledge can be enlightening, it can also be used for evil purposes. The serpent's legacy is complex and multifaceted. It serves as a reminder of the seductive nature of temptation and the dangers of seeking knowledge without understanding its potential consequences. Section 7. Adam and Eve's legacy interpretations across cultures. The story of Adam and Eve has been interpreted in many different ways throughout history. Some people see it as a literal account of historical events. Others see it as a metaphor for the human condition. In Jewish tradition, Adam and Eve's sin is seen as a tragic mistake that had far-reaching consequences. However, it is also seen as an opportunity for repentance and redemption. In Christian tradition, Adam and Eve's sin is seen as original sin, a state of sinfulness that is inherited by all humans. However, Christians believe that Jesus Christ came to atone for the sins of humanity. In Islamic tradition, Adam and Eve are seen as prophets of God. Their story is a reminder of the importance of obedience to God and the consequences of sin. Despite these different interpretations, the story of Adam and Eve continues to resonate with people of all faiths and cultures. It speaks to the human experience of temptation, sin, and the desire for redemption. Section 8. Lessons for today: morality, responsibility, and forgiveness. The story of Adam and Eve offers valuable lessons for modern life. It teaches us about the importance of morality, responsibility, and forgiveness. The story highlights the consequences of our actions and the importance of making ethical choices. It reminds us that our decisions have ripple effects, impacting not only ourselves but also those around us. Adam and Eve's story also emphasizes the significance of taking responsibility for our mistakes. Instead of blaming each other or the serpent, they acknowledge their role in the transgression. Furthermore, the story offers hope for redemption. Despite their sin, God does not abandon Adam and Eve. He provides them with clothing and a path forward. The story encourages us to seek forgiveness for our own transgressions and to extend forgiveness to others. It reminds us that even in the face of failure, there is always hope for a new beginning. Section 9. Conclusion: the enduring power of the story. The story of Adam and Eve is a timeless tale that continues to captivate and inspire people across cultures and generations. Its themes of creation, temptation, sin, and redemption resonate deeply with the human experience. The story's enduring power lies in its ability to speak to fundamental truths about human nature. It reminds us of our capacity for both good and evil, our longing for paradise, and our constant struggle to live up to our highest ideals. While interpretations may vary, the story's core message remains relevant. It encourages us to reflect on our own choices, take responsibility for our actions, and seek forgiveness when we fall short. Ultimately, the story of Adam and Eve offers a message of hope, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, redemption is always possible.